Craftsman is the household name every American garage has trusted for generations. Lifetime warranty, built to last, the tools your dad swore by. Right now, in your garage, there's probably a tool with the Craftsman logo on it. But in 2026, that same brand got caught flat-footed by a pricing scandal that's driving millions to boycott. Tools overpriced by hundreds of dollars in wealthy neighborhoods. And when homeowners started digging, they found something far worse hiding behind those inflated price tags. Something that makes that overpricing look like pocket change. Continue watching till the end to find out what these tools have become. And when you hear what's really happening, you'll understand why people are literally throwing away tools they paid hundreds of dollars for. Seriously, this goes deeper than anyone imagined. Let me take you back to something you thought was normal. You grab a Craftsman power drill, premium model, $300. The cashier asks if you want to register for the lifetime warranty. Of course you do. That's the whole point of buying Craftsman. You pull out your phone, scan the QR code on the box, and enter your details. Name, email, address, phone number, serial number of the tool. Done. Warranty activated. You think that's the end of the transaction. That's when the transaction actually begins. Within 72 hours, something strange happens. You start seeing ads. Not random ads, hyper-specific ads. If you bought a circular saw, you're seeing ads for lumber yards in your exact zip code. If you bought an automotive socket set, you're getting targeted offers for motor oil, tire deals, and extended car warranties. If you bought a drain auger, plumbers in your area are suddenly running Facebook ads that seem to know you've got a clog problem. It feels like a coincidence at first. We're all used to being tracked online, but this is different, because you never searched for any of it. You never told Google you were building a deck. You never posted on Facebook about your clogged sink. You never browsed Amazon for car parts. All you did was register a tool, and somehow, that single action opened a floodgate. Your data didn't just sit in Craftsman's warranty database. It moved. It got packaged, analyzed, and sold to data brokers who resell it to advertisers, retailers, and service providers. Every tool you registered became a beacon, broadcasting your intentions, your projects, your problems, and your purchasing power. You thought you were protecting a $300 drill. What you actually sold was a detailed map of your life for the next 6 months. Now here's where it escalates. Craftsman isn't just Craftsman anymore. In 2017, Stanley Black Decker bought the brand for $900 million. And Stanley Black Decker isn't a tool company that dabbles in data. They're a data company that happens to manufacture tools. They own DeWalt, Black Decker, Porter Cable, Bostitch, Irwin, Lennox, over 50 brands. And when they acquired Craftsman, they didn't just buy a logo and some factories. They bought access to millions of customers, loyal customers who've been buying Craftsman for generations and would never think twice about registering their tools. And that registration system is not a warranty database, it's a surveillance infrastructure. Here's how it actually works. When you register your Craftsman tool, the data doesn't stay local. It's uploaded to a cloud-based IoT monitoring platform. IoT stands for Internet of Things. These platforms are designed to track connected devices in real time. Now, your drill isn't connected to Wi-Fi, but your phone is. And the app you use to register it has permissions you probably didn't read. Location data, contact list, access, Bluetooth connections, microphone access in some cases. The app doesn't just record what tool you bought. It records where you bought it, when you bought it, what other apps are on your phone, what websites you visited recently, and even what other Bluetooth devices are nearby. Hopara plus one. All of that metadata gets fed into machine learning algorithms that build a behavioral profile. Let me be very specific about what this means. If you register a Craftsman miter saw, the algorithm knows you're doing trim work or framing. If you register it in March or April, you're probably a homeowner doing spring projects. If your phone's location data shows you visiting Home Depot 3 times in 1 week, the algorithm tags you as an active DIY buyer with urgency. If your IP address traces back to a neighborhood with a median home value above $400,000, the algorithm flags you as high value. All of this happens automatically, in milliseconds, and that profile gets auctioned off to the highest bidder in real-time ad exchanges. But the ads are just the surface level. The real money is in predictive analytics, because once they know what tools you own, they can predict what you'll need next. Bought a stud finder? You're about to need drywall supplies. Bought a tile saw? You're 3 weeks away from needing grout and sealant. Bought a compression tester for your engine? Your car is probably on its last legs, which means you're a hot lead for dealerships and auto lenders. This isn't speculation. This is exactly how dynamic pricing algorithms work. Retailers use them to adjust prices in real time based on customer profiles, and the tool manufacturers are feeding them data. Now imagine this scenario. You're a contractor. You buy 15 Craftsman power tools for a commercial job. You register all of them because you want the warranty protection. You're working on a 3-month project, 6-figure contract. You haven't announced it publicly. You haven't posted about it. But within a week, suppliers you've never contacted start calling. They're offering bulk pricing on materials you haven't ordered yet. Concrete, rebar, HVAC units. They know the scope of your project. They know your timeline. They know your budget range. How? Because every tool you registered sent a signal. A concrete mixer means foundation work. Rebar cutter means structural reinforcement. HVAC manifold gauge means climate control installation. Together, those tools paint a complete picture of your project. And that picture got sold to construction material suppliers who paid for access to contractor profiles in your region. You thought you were just protecting your tools. What you did was hand over your business strategy to your competitors, and every vendor trying to squeeze margin out of you. And it gets worse. In February 2025, a hardware store chain manager in Pennsylvania noticed something that didn't make sense. The same Craftsman mechanics toolset had different prices at different store locations. Not small differences, a $100 spread. The set cost $249 in rural Montana, $379 in suburban Connecticut. Same product, same company, same week. He posted about it on a retail management forum. Other managers confirmed it. Craftsman had implemented AI-powered dynamic pricing that adjusted based on regional demographics, zip code income data, property values, education levels, buying patterns. If you lived in a wealthy area, you paid more, automatically, invisibly. This is called price discrimination, and it's completely legal as long as it's not based on protected categories like race or religion. But income and geography are fair game. The algorithm analysed your address and decided how much you could afford to pay. And because most people don't compare shops across state lines for tools, nobody noticed. You walked into your local Lowe's, saw a price, and assumed that was the price. You had no idea someone 3 states over was paying 30% less for the identical item. Your zip code became a surcharge. But the boycott didn't really explode until people started connecting the dots between tool registration and insurance rates, because that's when it stopped being annoying and started being expensive. A homeowner in Arizona registered a Craftsman pressure washer in April 2025. Routine purchase. His deck had mildew. In June, his homeowner's insurance premium increased by 18%. He called his insurance company, confused. They told him it was a standard risk adjustment based on updated property data. He pushed back. Eventually, a supervisor admitted that third-party risk assessment data indicated deferred exterior maintenance at his property. Deferred exterior maintenance. That was the exact phrase. He bought a pressure washer specifically to maintain his property, but the data got interpreted differently. The insurance algorithm saw a pressure washer purchase and concluded that his property had reached a state requiring emergency cleaning, which implied neglect, which increased risk, which justified a premium hike. He fought it for 3 months, got nowhere. And when he posted his story online, dozens of others replied with similar experiences. Pool pumps triggering rate increases, sump pumps flagged as flood risk indicators, electrical testers interpreted as code violation evidence. Your tools were being used as evidence against you by industries you didn't even know were watching. Now let's talk about what nobody's saying yet. Stanley Black Decker reported third quarter 2025 results in November. Revenue was flat, DeWalt showed growth, but the report noted expected tariff-related promotional reductions and a soft consumer backdrop. People stopped buying. The company didn't explicitly mention Craftsman boycotts, but independent retail data showed Craftsman sales dropped by 18% in Q4 2025 compared to the previous year. Lowe's, which has an exclusive partnership with Craftsman for certain product lines, quietly reduced shelf space in January 2026. Customer complaints tripled in 6 months. The brand is bleeding, and they know it. But here's the terrifying part. Craftsman is just the pilot program. Stanley Black Decker owns over 50 tool brands. If this data monetization model proves profitable, even with declining sales, they'll roll it out across DeWalt, Black Decker, Porter Cable, every brand in the portfolio. And if Stanley does it, every other manufacturer will follow. Milwaukee, Makita, Ryobi, Bosch. The entire industry will shift from selling tools to harvesting data. And once that happens, you won't be able to opt out, because every brand will require registration. Every warranty will come with surveillance. Every tool purchase will be a data transaction, Stanley Black Decker, +1. You'll own the tool, but the tool will own information about you that's worth more than the tool itself. Imagine your garage 5 years from now. Every tool is connected, every battery has a chip, every measurement you take, every cut you make, every bolt you tighten gets logged. The data flows to manufacturers who sell it to advertisers, insurers, banks, employers, and government agencies. Your DIY projects become evidence in injury lawsuits. Your tool usage patterns affect your credit score. Your purchasing behavior determines your insurance eligibility. And you agreed to all of it when you registered for a warranty you thought was just protecting your investment. So what do? Here's what the people leading this boycott are actually doing. First, they stopped registering new purchases. Completely. Keep your receipts. Store them digitally if you want. Most lifetime warranties are still honored with proof of purchase, even if the company pushes app registration. Make them honor the old system. Demand it. Second, they're switching brands strategically, not all at once. But when it's time to replace or upgrade, they're choosing manufacturers that don't require registration. Third, and this is critical, they're making noise. Companies only change when it affects their bottom line. And right now, Craftsman is feeling it. Their sales are down. Their reputation is damaged. But they'll only reverse course if the backlash grows loud enough that it threatens the entire Stanley Black Decker portfolio. The Craftsman boycott is a line in the sand. And the scariest part is that Craftsman is still just tools. Wait until you see what they're planning for smart home devices, connected appliances, and vehicles. That's not a warning. That's already happening. This is just where people finally decided to push back. The question is whether enough people push back before it's too late.